All right, we are live. Welcome to the Real Estate Exam Study Group. And we have a very special guest today. Jamie Campbell is in the house. Hey, Jamie. How are you? There we go. She's raising the roof because she passed her test on, when was that? Monday? Tuesday. Oh, I know. So Jamie's going to talk to us a little bit about what she studied, what she didn't study. She got a great score, but I'll never ask her what it is, but she volunteered it. She broke the cardinal rule of the study group. But anyhow, she passed, and I'm so happy. She was, I met her at Hondros, and she's a great person. So we're going to talk about that and things that she did and that might help you when you take your test right after this. All right, Jamie. Well, welcome. I'm glad you get to jump on here again. Good seeing you.
Me too. I was wondering when it would be my turn. Now
it is. It's now. Now is your turn, and you're paying it forward. So okay, well let's talk a little bit about you, Jamie. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you live, your situation.
So currently residing in Gahanna, right outside of Columbus. I'm 45 years old. I have 2 grown kids. My boys grew up playing hockey. I've been busy with them as a travel hockey mom. And
a lot of time.
Yeah, I have a full-time career. I've been at my current employer for 20 years, and
wow,
I'm now an empty nester since they've both flown the coop, and
awesome.
A lot of time on my hands. And I've always been interested in real estate. And my husband and I, we've purchased and sold several houses in our 20 plus years of marriage. And so it's just something I've always been interested in. And I thought, well, I have all the time, so why not venture out, start something new?
Yeah. Are you going to segue to full time or not sure yet?
Yes. Without divulging a lot of information.
Oh, okay. We don't have to go down that road.
No,
okay.
I'm a planner. I plan on doing for myself. I'm going to do real estate part-time. Okay. I would like to have like 1 to 2 years worth of my current job salary in the bank before I commit full-time to real estate.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good job.
Just give myself that little bit of a cushion.
So that you can do both. You absolutely can do both. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Well, busy mom, full-time job, hockey, you name it. So and Jamie found time to do this, guys. So no excuses. So let's segue into your test. Okay. So, let's first, where did you take it?
I took it at the testing site in Dublin.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now I already asked you this off air, but I'm going to put you, did you go there beforehand to scope things out?
I did not. Literally, the only thing I did was map quest it different times of the day to see how far it was and how long it would take me. So I could get there early enough.
So you're kind of going around the loop to the other side to get to it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, that's fine. I do recommend, Jamie's in trouble on this one, but no, I do recommend maybe going, especially Dublin, because Dublin, I've had 2 people, and John was one of them that was on here, that when he showed up, he was like, there's no cars here. What the heck's going on? He thought he was at the wrong place. But
there wasn't a lot of cars there.
But it was on the other side. He went to the wrong side. So, and the reason why I say it is just so you're not nervous. Like we had Jasmine on Thursday.
She was on Tuesday. She was on the day I took my exam.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. And, she said that, she scoped it out just to make sure. And it's always good because she was a very nervous, Jasmine's very nervous person. So she went. So, but yeah, if you're not familiar with the test taking area, it's always good to check it out beforehand.
Yeah.
So, but all right. You took it in Dublin.
Yes.
The testing center, hot, cold, meaning like temperature wise, it was nice, comfortable.
Temperature wise, it was comfortable. I'm a very anxious test taker, so I tend to run a little hot when I take tests.
So layer up just in case you need to peel layers.
Yes. Okay. So I dressed appropriately because I knew I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in a short sleeve shirt.
Okay.
Not have to worry about being stressed out about, oh, it's so hot in here. But
you didn't dress up, Jamie, or anything in a nice dress, or
no, that would have added to my anxiety.
Yeah, right. Dress comfy.
I was like, I hope jeans and a t-shirt is fine because that's what I wore.
Yeah. Be comfy.
But yeah, it was actually nice temperature wise, comfortable. It wasn't too hot, too cold. The environment was nice. My test was scheduled at 1 and I arrived there about 12:30. Actually a little before. And I was actually through the paperwork and actually seated for my exam at 12:45.
Oh, okay. So they got you in early.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely get there early. Do not get rushed. Because if you miss your test time, you don't, no refunds, nothing. You have to reschedule. Yeah. But so you were at Hondros, obviously, right? We talked about that. How did you do your classes? Were you all online? Did you do live stream? All online?
No, all online. Because that's what worked best with my schedule. Because I understand. I work until 2:30, 3 o'clock every day. And then, at that time, my youngest was still at home. So I was doing stuff with him and, just day-to-day life. So I found that the online worked best for me. I will say that I was a little nervous, especially for taking my exam and making sure that I was prepared because I didn't have that one-on-one. I wasn't available to attend any of the virtual Q&As or any of that. Also, though I liked the flexibility of the online, I will say, and maybe this is negligent on my part, I was not aware that you could actually do the crammer more than one time.
Oh, okay.
So I took your advice from prior conversations, prior interviews that you had done, and I scheduled my crammer session on June 4th. So this past Saturday.
Oh, good. Okay.
3 days before my exam. So I made sure that information was still fresh.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah. I will say that if anybody does it online or whatever, I would recommend doing the crammer session more than once.
Okay.
Just because only doing it the one time. So you take your practice exam and then you grade it. And the instructor that went over everything virtually was great and said, on average, most people who take it the crammer the first time, they get like 55 to 65% on it or whatever. And I was a little above that mark, but being so close to my test date added to my anxiety.
Oh,
so
you were nervous. Okay.
Yeah, I think if I would have done like one prior to that and then did that one as a refresher, I think that might have helped to alleviate some of that.
Okay. Because you, again, we're not going to divulge your score, but you had a really good score. You had a really good score. So you felt that when you took your crammer, your score was way lower. It was obviously way lower than what your test. So do you think the crammer was harder? Is that what you're saying?
I don't really know. And
maybe you couldn't have studied a ton in the middle.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
well,
or maybe you did too. Yeah.
You have no idea.
Okay.
I was a study fool. So, and I don't want to jump ahead here, but I actually paid for, so when I signed up for my exam, PSI sent me a link for this basically unlimited online testing. And so I also did like the higher package with Hondros. So I had the CompuCram.
Right.
So I was doing CompuCram exams and the PSI exams kind of simultaneously. Like I would alternate between, just so I was getting a multitude of different questions to try to pinpoint more what I needed to focus on for studying in preparation.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
And but before we do that, hey guys, we got some people watching live. If anyone has any questions for Jamie, go ahead and ask it. You can ask her questions live while we're here. So, but I get this question sometimes in the study group is, what do you like, the CompuCram from Hondros, or did you like pros and cons, or PSI's exam, online exam? Did you like one over the other? And because I always get that question.
Question wise, I mean, I wouldn't say I liked one more than the other.
Okay.
The CompuCram, I think, is less questions per exam than the PSI one.
Okay.
So I think the PSI one was like 105 questions, and then the CompuCram was like 80 or 85 or something like that. So it was a little bit different, which also determined which one I did at what time based on, the amount of time that I had available. But I liked it because, like I said, they asked different questions. So I think on the PSI, as far as like the math questions, I think I liked that one a little bit better.
Okay.
Because it did show, and if you missed it, it did show you how to break it down, how to get the correct answer. And some of them even showed you like an alternate or easier shortcut method as well, which the shortcut method is actually what I used primarily. So I was glad to see I was right. But yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a personal preference. I honestly liked them both.
Okay. So for an extra $50, PSI.
I mean, it was totally worth it, and I'd pay it again.
Got it. So, okay, that's good advice. So it's worth it. So now we talked about this before, and you were mad at me. You talked about calculations.
Yes.
Jamie, I think, has maybe had the most math questions that we've had. So you think you had over 10 for sure?
Yeah, definitely minimum 10, based on, again, and we discussed it, off air, but between real estate calculations, financing, and valuation and market analysis, I would say I definitely had over 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. So
no,
but you passed. So
I didn't cuss at you until after I took the exam.
Oh, I know. So, but yeah, so I think the most that we've seen was 10, but anywhere from 5 to 10, that's kind of where it falls. So, but
yeah, I was hoping for that 5 mark.
I know we all do. Yeah, I haven't seen less than 5. So,
yeah.
but it is. So, is there anything like book-wise criteria that you would recommend people to say, listen, this really helped me, like keywords or for quizzes? Yeah.
Your PNP book, Principles and Practices, was my holy grail.
Right.
I would sit at my desk and I had the PNP and the law book. Those are the two I used. Because, like I said, I watched enough of your interviews. I saw enough of the comments on the study group that I didn't overly stress about the math. So like finance, appraisal, kind of left that to the wayside, and it was Principles and Practices was my primary go-to, and then law as well. Yeah.
I always say if you have a house fire, grab your PNP book, and then the kids and the dog and the cat, and maybe your law book.
Yeah. So if you have time.
If you have time, then maybe grab law books. So so that's good. All right. Well, that's excellent. Any other advice to give? And I'll let you get back to your Thursday.
Well, I would love to say don't
appreciate
stress,
you.
But I mean, that's pretty much inevitable. I swear to you, I had hives on my hands from anxiety. I was like, this is insane. Really? But I've been out of school for almost 30 years. This is my first whole experience with studying and test taking. So I was overly anxious and nervous. I will tell you, as soon as you see your score, an instant weight is lifted off your shoulders. You feel like you can breathe. It was an amazing feeling. Yeah. And I would be lying if I didn't say that I cried in my car afterwards.
Oh, you did? No.
I think it was stressful.
It is. It is.
But
yeah.
I put a lot of stress on myself, so I don't want anybody to get scared by that. I'm very critical of myself. I am my own worst critic, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. So
one thing I want to bring up, and you asked me this, and I don't know if you texted me or the group, but how long did you wait from the time you submitted your paperwork to the time you got the okay to take your exam? Remember? I think you told me.
Actually, so I I submitted my paperwork. I believe it was April 28th, and I got the approval on May 11th.
Okay.
They sent me the email, said, okay, schedule, and I scheduled that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty decent because I know there's people waiting longer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, when I dropped off my paperwork, they told me to allow, it would probably take 3 to 6 weeks is what they were working with.
Yeah.
And it was less. It was less than that. So
yeah, that's not normal. We usually, it would be about a week, and now they're having one person review it every month. So guys, and that's unfortunate. So be prepared that you're going to have like a lag time. Is that the way I want to say it? Lag time between when you drop that paperwork off until you sit for your test. And that's horrible. I call it purgatory, test purgatory, because you're just waiting and waiting and you know,
constantly checking your email.
You have to, and you have to keep studying because you'll lose that momentum. And that's why I would say it's momentum. You know, that's why you take your crammer before. But you know, learn from Jamie's mistake. You can take the crammer more than once. Right. So you say you take the crammer, you got in a little too early, and a couple weeks have gone by, and you're like, gosh, when am I going to take my exam? Then, you know, maybe schedule another crammer if you need to. Yeah. You paid for it. So, and I know people have taken it 3 times. Yeah. So, but it's good to be stressed. Agents that are like not stressed about it really worry me, because it's a healthy fear that you have, because the test isn't easy. 65% of students pass it their first time. That's not a lot. That's, you know, so, and it's harder. It's harder now than it was when I took mine, you know, so years ago. So, but it's got harder. And I think it's probably rightfully so. Not everyone should get the real estate license. So, but well, cool. Any other tips, Jamie, before we get off today?
No,
I really appreciate you coming on.
I don't think I have anything. Just study, use your resources. I will be honest and say I did better on the state portion than I thought I would. Honestly, I actually spent most of my focus time studying on the national. And I don't know if that's just because in my head I was like, oh, it's more questions. I need to dedicate more time.
That's been a tough one for people. It's the national.
Yeah. Well, and I think I heard you say that on another interview where, you know, there's a lot that'll pass the state test and not pass.
I don't know the statistics on it, but like just being like ground zero, people talking, it seems that they usually fail the national and pass state. So I focused primarily on that. I think with the state exam, I did most of my studying out of the small crammer, the law or Ohio real estate crammer book that I got. Which I will say, if Hondros is taking any feedback on that, I think they should add at least one more practice exam in there, because it's That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, there could be a few more questions in there, only because, and I wish I could remember what the question was exactly. There was a question on the state portion that I had to bookmark it to come back to it, because I read it like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, this wasn't on any of the practice tests that I took in the book or on CompuCram or on the PSI. And I don't recall reading anything about it in the studies, like during class. So, but I don't remember. And I've racked my brain the last 2 days trying to remember the question, but I may have gotten it right. I may not have. I don't know. But I was like, there was literally only that one question that threw me for the state. So the state was, in my opinion, fairly easy.
That's that seems consistent. But, yeah. So, all right. Thanks, Jamie. Again.
Thank you. I appreciate everything.
You're welcome. So, well, thanks again. And Jamie, thanks for joining. And whoever, if you pass your test, guys, coming up and you want to join, and thanks for the thumbs up. Make sure you guys chatter and spread good word, because it really helped Jamie out with other past interviews, and we're glad to see her pass. So with that being said, I'm going to let everyone go. Have a great week. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will talk to you guys all very soon.